Hello, we are Knut, Eivind, and Johanne from Meer, and you're now listening to the Progcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Progcast. As you just heard, I have Knut, Eivind, and Johanne from Norwegian progressive pop orchestra Meer on Skype here with me today, and it's a pleasure to have you guys. How are you doing up there?
We're great.
Yeah, it's
so
good.
Nice that we could join you.
Yeah, it's really cold, but it's good. It's good.
It's really cold.
It's really, really cold.
You guys just released your second album, which is called Playing House, last week on January 29th through Charisma Records. And I guess not a lot of people in the prog world out there, in the worldwide prog scene, know you so far. But I think that's changing right now. So why don't you start with a little introduction of the band, how you started out, what has been your story so far?
Yeah, we are 8 people from the east of Norway. We are...
the deep forest of Hedmark.
Yes. We've been playing together for quite a while. We actually started as a duo back in 2008. Eivind and myself, Johanne, we started playing together as we were in the same class in high school. And then we, as the years went by, we got our friends to join as we made more and more crazy music. So we needed more people.
Yeah, I think we've been a proper band since 2011, maybe?
Yeah. With all of the members.
Yeah, the lineup got together for the, we made an EP that came out in 2012, and that was when the original lineup came together, and that's still the current lineup today. And I'm really grateful that we are still, all the same people that started out when we were just kids. It's really, for me, it's really, really special to be, for like 9 years, be still the same people, just having fun and making music together, because it never feels like work, or of course sometimes it's boring, and it's and it can be really, really heated discussions, because Johanne, of course, is my sister, and Eivind is her husband, and so we can get a bit personal at times. But
it's sort of a family business. Yeah.
It's a family business. Yes.
Yeah, and also Mats and Åsa were also in our class in high school, and Ingvild.
They were actually dating.
They were actually dating for a while.
For some months.
Before they joined the band. And Ingvild is from the class between us and Knut. Yes. And Ole was Knut's piano teacher in high school.
And Morten, who plays the bass, he lives next door to us. He's our closest neighbor. So it's really tight-knit kind of band. And that, I think it gives us some advantages, even though it can be a little bit heated in some discussions sometimes. But
yeah, but it's better. It was worse before.
But maybe we should say a little bit about our music and not just about our relationships.
Oh, this is about the
let's work through some stuff now. Yeah.
So you mentioned all the members now, and you also mentioned that Ole is playing the piano, for example, and that Morten is playing the bass. But you said, there's 8 members, and I think it's quite unusual for a normal rock or pop band or whatever to have 8 members. And of course, it's very, very interesting what kind of lineup this is in terms of instrumentation.
Mm. Yeah, we use a lot of strings in our music. Åsa plays the violin, and Ingvild plays the viola. Yeah. So it's really, what should we say, Eivind? You have something to say about that.
Well, I guess at the time when we were starting up as a proper band, I was studying orchestration at the university. So it just felt natural to ask Åsa and Ingvild to join.
Yeah. And at first, Eivind often wrote all the music also for the strings, but now we compose a lot more collectively. So everyone just brings their things into the mix.
Yeah. For the first couple of years, there was a lot of sheet music on stage. Seems very weird now.
Now paper is
we lost
off
Knut.
the table. I think Knut maybe got lost in the internet. Or are you there, Knut?
We'll see if he rejoins us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not live. We can edit this later if we want.
Sure.
But we can also just like continue talking and see if he will rejoin.
Yeah, he probably will.
So yeah, you mentioned that now the composing process is more collectively with the whole band, and I think your music is definitely quite special. There's Knut. Hey, welcome back. So yeah, where do you get your influences from musically? Where do you see your musical identity or your musical face, or however you want to call it?
It's really all over the place. Meer is kind of like inspirational free zone where you can just bring in anything you like.
Yeah, we don't really have any limits or rules as of what we can put into our music. So it's we didn't start out thinking now we want to make a prog rock band. We just want to make whatever music that comes natural to us and is fun to play around with.
Yeah, we actually started out more like chamber jazz in the beginning.
Yeah,
I think you can still hear a lot of the jazz influences in the music. You know, the chords often are, to get into the nerdy stuff, like 4 tones or 5 tones in the chords, you know, with the 7ths and 9s and all that. So I think that's kind of the basis, and we actually use a lot of time on chords. That's something we really discuss a lot. Yeah. You know, the progressions and stuff like that, and you can hear it in the music as well. And we are kind of allergic to obvious chord progressions and stuff like that. So I think like the chords is a really big driving force, you know, in the way we write music. But you of course, a lot of us have classical backgrounds, and I think that also is very you can hear that a lot. And also the backgrounds from like theater, and you know, there's a lot of drama and development. We're really into that, and also something you also find in, you know, classical music, the way we also, and you know, themes, musical themes, using those
since we are 8 different people, we have a lot of different inspirations, and like Morten, the bass player, he's mostly into jazz, while Eivind, you have listened a lot to metal and rock.
Yeah, I'm our prog alibi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Mats, the drummer, is like 50-50 prog and jazz, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm more into like pop and soul music maybe, and Knut has done some classical training, so it's really a mixture of a lot of things.
Yeah, I think if you make a Venn diagram of all these genres, then Meer is at the middle.
Yeah.
So we've thought about it. That is it a challenge to make it sound like one sound or one band? So we've been working a lot with that to make the sound that is us, since we have no rules in what we can do. But I like that we have actually come out on the other side with a very specific sound. You can say that it's Meer.
Yeah.
Second you hear it, I think. So,
yeah, I think so. But the way I think of it, it's coming back to the chord thing. I think it's really about a lot of course, instrumentation, but also about how we, harmonically how we think. It's really. I think we found in terms of harmonics, we have found kind of a set of rules. What kind of chords and what kind of progressions we can use to sound like Meer. I think that's maybe the place where we have most rules, or most, not rules, but we have found like a language, harmonically.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, I think. It was like Playing House was recorded mainly at Ocean Sound Recording, as I see here in the press briefing, so to speak. Lepers are just now there
live streaming,
writing a song with their fans. When you went to the studio, did you have the songs and the arrangement all worked out, or did you go into the studio and continued working on them, or did you only like write in the studio actually, like Lepers are doing now?
It was actually a little bit of both. We have some of the songs were quite finished already when we got there, and some were. The first track on the album, Picking Up the Pieces, was really not.
It was basically written the day before we went to the studio.
Yeah, it was, and we did a lot of it as we were there as well. And me and Knut, we wrote some of the lyrics while we were there because we didn't have time to record vocals, and not all of the vocals were ready. But it was very inspirational just to be there. It's an amazing place out in the west coast of Norway.
Yes, on an island.
Yeah.
All the listeners should just go and Google Ocean Sound Recordings right now.
It's beautiful.
I think
actually, sorry.
There's also a like next week or this week actually. There's a another Norwegian band called Heave Blood and Die releasing an album, Post People, and that was also recorded there. And the first time I heard about the studio was through I Am the Morning, who recorded a live session there. And I think you will be able to find some videos on YouTube as well. And like the two videos from Heave Blood and Die are also shot in a live session that they recorded in the studio. It's beautiful, definitely.
And sometimes there were like seals coming up because it's like 2 meters from the ocean. So then we had to just stop recording and just, it's a seal, and then we had to look at the seal, and then we could continue recording. So it was really magical, and it's so special to be able to, take the whole band and just be gone for a week, away from everything. It's really, and you sleep in the second floor. Actually, we were so many people, so there were no bed for me, so I just took like sofa cushions, slept on those. So, but it was really intense and really magical to be there.
You mentioned the vocal or harmony arrangements, or also together with the lyrics that you did. The first song that I heard of you was, of course, the first single from the new album, Across the Ocean. And there's this is one of the songs where there's a little bit more, where you Knut are a little bit more in the lead vocal role. I had the feeling. So when you write the songs and develop the vocal melodies, harmonies, and lyrics, how do you decide who's gonna sing more like prominently as a lead vocalist in which song?
It just depends on who has had the most coffee when we're at rehearsal. And who like vibes with the thing, I guess. Sometimes it comes natural with the song. Actually, I think Knut mainly does more of the softer and more poetic songs, and I'm more of the rock tunes, maybe.
Now that you say it, it's true.
I think that's the interesting dynamic because, in most, at least in metal, you always have this screaming male vocalist and a very clean, operatic female. So it's cool to just change that dynamic.
Yeah. And we like to do a lot of things to sing together as well because our voices can be very similar. If we just sing the same things, we can really just... it's sometimes scary how much we sound alike, I think.
Yeah. And we have sung together all our lives. So when we didn't have iPads, thank God, when we were small. So when we went on vacation in the car, we just sang, for hours. So I think that kind of developed. We have like a telepathic communication, when we sing together. So we like end notes at the same time, and singing, making. Harmonizing is really just comes natural. So it's not something we actually have to plan. And often I make melodies that I can't sing myself. So then it's easier to let Johanne do it, And for often it's like, oh, this is too low for me, or this is too high for me. Can we just switch? And then we do that, But the lyrics for me, I think. Because Johanne has written most of the lyrics, but I've also written maybe like a quarter of the lyrics, and Johanne has written 3/4. And often for me, it just comes with the melody. The words just across the ocean. It just comes with the melody. But I think Johanne has you have a more intellectual way of doing lyrics. I'm not so interested in what it means. I just like the way it sounds, but I think Johanne is more. You really want to have a story and a meaning.
Yeah, but then it's it's quite cool because Knut often has like just an idea, a sentence comes to mind, and then I have to make something out of it. So I write from that, and that can be inspiring as well when someone just gives you. A line and just see how it goes and make a world from it. So
yeah, and that really goes for the music as well. We play off each other and bounce ideas off each other, and that's I think that goes for any band, I guess. But I think it's really special that the music wouldn't have been like it is if it these people in the room at the same time, and that's what comes out of it. And same with lyrics, it happens because those people are there in that moment. I think that's so special.
We sound like such a bunch of hippies.
That's fine with me. Yeah, we just talked about Across the Ocean and that it was the first single, but there was also this video coming with it where where it was basically a montage of you playing live, and I guess that was was the song actually when you played live and made these recordings, recordings for the video, did you actually play that song already, or
it was from a concert, yes, but it was we had to make some adjustments to make it work with the video. But the video is actually made. It was filmed at a little festival that takes place in our mother's backyard, actually, where Knut and I grew up in the forest of Tangen. So we have made that festival for 10 years. It's called Finstafest. So it was really nice to welcome the world home to us. So
yeah,
and also with the lake Mjøsa, that's right where nearby where we grew up.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it did a great job transporting this kind of carefree summer holidays atmosphere that is coming from the song itself, from the music, but the video made a good visual component to that same feeling.
It's sort of everything you miss right now. being at the festival in the sun with your friends. So it was recorded back in 2018.
Yeah, way before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's also where most of the album, like the sketches for the songs were made in our childhood home. We have when we had like a band week there, and wrote most of the album there actually.
Yeah, we do some workshops out there in the forest.
Let's call it what it is, band camp.
Yeah.
Band camp.
It's band camp.
This one time at band camp? No.
Yeah. Yeah, so just get together there and stay there for maybe 4 or 5 days, and get up, play music, eat, drink, play more music.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
The second single, Beehive, has a very different vibe, of course, and also a very different video. The video you released coinciding with the album release. And yeah, it's a very energetic song, like a heavier energy to that song. And also, as we established earlier, this one is kind of presented first and foremost by you, Johanne, as lead singer. I think that's a very good representation of the album. If you have these two singles, you have like these two kind of different styles, not really different styles, but the different elements that can make up the Meer sound. Yeah,
I think so as well. It's they're sort of on the different ends of the scale of the Meer scale. Yeah.
It was actually the first track written for the album.
Yeah.
I wrote it right after we released our debut album in 2016.
So Beehive, Beehive has been one of the favorites on our live shows for a long time. It's really fun to play on concerts. So and I love how it turned out on the album as well. It's
I'm just seeing
cool.
on Spotify that you released a single in 2016 with Beehive, and where do we go from here? Is that so? Were this like earlier versions, and you re-recorded them for the album?
Yeah. They were actually produced by Johanne Knut's other brother.
Yes, keep it in the family.
Yeah.
So we just re-recorded them for the album. We took them with us to Ocean Sound.
Beehive is pretty similar, but where we go from here is completely changed.
Yeah, because
I do have to check out the older version then, because the album version is the penultimate song on the album, and it fits nicely between the two. Quite heavy and proggy, She Goes and Lay It Down. So it's a nice mellow resting point before the final onslaught, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's also actually recorded live in the studio there.
Yeah,
in
that's one
lake.
take.
Yeah, it's one take, so it's from
not the first take, but
not the first take. It's not like yes. So we recorded it in a late in the night when we were in the studio, and let's just try and make this make it into something else, because we already had it, but we knew we wanted to do something different with it. And I think that also is really important for us, because we're so many people that we can take just groups of the ensemble and do stuff, because it can be excessive, if everyone is playing at the same time and we have big strings and everything all the time. So I think that's something we have really learned, and also through playing unplugged shows, that we learn to where can we take it down, where can we do to get dynamics, because the music is usually very undense, so finding ways to undense it, and also finding dynamic place where you can make it more dynamic, I think is really important, and I think we have really matured in that way. Wow, that sounded so good.
I want to go back to Beehive for a second again, because I was just looking up the video again and then scrolling through the comments, and then there was think the last comment when I scrolled down was something like, "This should be the new Bond movie song," and I was like,
That's not an accident.
and I was like, I've been saying that since I heard the album the first time, like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not the only one who thinks that.
No, it's kind of on purpose also, maybe.
We have this sort of rule that we want to have one Bond song for each album. So on the last album, it was Valentine and the Sky, the last track.
Yeah. So go check out Valentine in the Sky and see if you guys think that's
It's not as obvious, but
But I think also it's so cool with the video that Beth made. It's because we gave her like full. We told her to do whatever she wanted, and she made all these, these female shapes. And that's also something you always find in the Bond movies. In the start, with the song, it's always these silhouettes with the ladies doing stuff.
Yeah, right.
Sexy ladies, and that was so perfect because so I think maybe I don't know.
We should just pitch it as a Bond theme.
Yeah,
let's send it in.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you pitch a Bond song or if someone
comes
comes to you.
Yeah.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
All right. I really hope you guys will find a bigger audience with Playing House because it's brilliant. I just can put my signature underneath the review that my lovely colleague Evelina wrote on the Progspace. So you guys out there can also check out the review. Definitely go check out Playing House on Spotify or Bandcamp or wherever. Before we end this interview, we have a little section at the end of our episodes that we like to call What's in Your Walkman, where I ask my guests what they've been listening to lately, if there has been anything that you guys that stood out that you guys would want to plug or give a shout out to.
Since we released the album, a lot of people has compared us to Bent Knee, which I had never heard of before. So I've been listening a lot to Bent Knee.
It's a good call.
Yeah. And also, that goes for me too. I started listening to the Deer Hunter because I hadn't listened to them before either. So it's really, that has been a really, really nice because we've always struggled with like who are if you like, what do we actually sound like? That's also always a question you get. So it has been really nice with the reviews and everything to get some input on who to like have as references, even though there haven't been references when we made the music. But it's really cool to hear all these people who are doing kind of the same thing. Yeah,
and I've just been listening to my other band because I'm releasing a pop
plug
album.
Plug it, sister.
Yeah.
Do you have a single already out? Anything that I could put into a playlist?
Yeah, sure. My band's called Paper Crown. So back on my mind, it's not maybe for all the prog listeners out there. It's more pop, but I sing. So it's music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Album released on February
19th.
Yeah.
Cool.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we already had like people recommending Dua Lipa or whatnot in the What's in Your Walkman section. Anything goes really, and that's the cool thing about it.
Dua Lipa. I've been listening to the Dua Lipa album so much, so I exactly have that. But also Hadestown, the Broadway musical soundtrack, Hadestown. I think that for prog people would really love it. It's really good. It's not a Broadway musical like you would. When I say the word, you think of something else. But it's a really good track if you like progressive stuff. And Hadestown, the musical, is really good, and the lyrics are so beautiful. So I really recommend it.
Cool. I will definitely put that into the playlist. I also brought three entries today, as most of the time. The first one would be, because I thought it's so cool, you guys not only have a violin, but you also have a viola in your band. And that reminded me of a French very weird French band called Taal with 2A. So not Tool, but Taal. And sadly, they're not around anymore, I think. They're very obscure underground. And they had an album called Sky Mind. And on that album is a song, I will have to check which one it was, with a very awesome viola solo on it.
Oh, cool.
I just checked it on the side. The album is from 2003, so it's been a while. But I love this album so much. It's so weird, but so much fun, and also a lot of strings and whatnot, chamber, orchestra instruments. The other one, I'm not sure if I think there's not there's not a single out yet, but maybe I can just put an older song because I just received a promo copy of Swedish band A.C.T. They play really cool progressive pop music as well, like a little bit more in the Dream Theater meets pop music vein. But I've been a fan of them for a long time. And
we played together with them at the festival. They're really cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and shout out to Hurin Progcast Society here in Norway. They have really made a platform for us to do shows and meet new fans and stuff, and other bands as well. So they have been really great people.
Cool. Yeah, the new A.C.T. EP drops on February 26th. It's called Heat Wave, and I just received it today, or we received it yesterday, and I listened to it today like 4 times or so. So it's another EP. I think it's the second EP in a row of 4 EPs they wrote. And last but not least, my crazy friends from the UK, Azure, dropped their new single Mistress yesterday with a very funny, cool video, almost being blown away by the British wind. Go check it out, guys. I will put all these songs, of course, in the playlist as always, together with some cool Meer stuff. One last thing, where does the album name come from?
Oh, that's a bit convoluted, actually. So,
it comes from the lyrics of the first song, Picking Up the Pieces.
Yeah.
You know,
So
the phrase "playing
yeah.
house." It's pretending to be an adult, like most of us feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel a lot of people say playing house, like a house where you play in, but it's actually the act of playing house. So
But it can be a little bit of both, actually.
It can be a little bit of both, but the whole line, So, okay, let's not get into it, but it's about pretending to be an adult,
And one very, very last question, where does the band name come from?
That's also a long story, no?
Another half an hour, okay.
The Norwegian word MER is actually just a word for more. And that was one of the words that came up when we wanted to make a band name, because we're maximalists. We always want to add more. So we added another E as well to the name. So it's MEER. And that's also a word for, the ocean
in
or
German
the sea,
as well.
like it is in Germany. Yeah. So, and that also, we felt like it resonated with our music. So,
because we were talking about some way including water, because we were looking out at Mjøsa, the biggest lake in Norway, and we were trying to find a name, and then that happened. Also because our last name, Ted Glenn Extended, no one was able to remember it, so we had to find something
something
easy.
Short.
Yeah, short and catching.
Awesome, guys. I'm really happy that to have that album in my life, because it's so happiness inducing. I hope you guys out there go check it out. Think the next episode that we're gonna have is gonna be a little bit more brutal, a little bit more heavy. Looks like the next episode we're gonna have is with a Swedish band called Humanity's Last Breath.
Oh.
So we have a nice kind of mix of the various ends on the scale of what prog music can be, which is very cool. I really love it. Thanks, guys, for taking the time. It was great to talk to you, and I can't wait to see you live one day.
Thank you so much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, and we look very much forward to tour all of Europe and all the world to play in some time.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Someday.
All right. To you listeners out there, thank you for listening as always. And also, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and listen to great music, be it heavy or soft.
The Progcast is a production of Stuus Media and is presented by the Progspace. It is produced by Randy M. Salo, Janine Stengel-Lewis, Blake Lewis, and Dario Albrecht. Our theme music is by This Is Not an Elephant, and Van Kirsch does our graphics. New episodes of the Progcast drop every Monday and Thursday. And don't miss our Friday Top 5 episode where we discuss our favorite new releases from that week. For more interviews and reviews in the written form, check out theprogspace.com.